Hey friends, Alan Lee and Jason Call here. We are here. We meet twice a month here and we talk live about marketing for you guys. So we are here live on Facebook in the Handyman Journey Mastermind group, and we also live on YouTube. One quick little snippet that we need to talk about on Facebook. If you are tuning in on the Facebook page, we are using a streaming system called StreamYard. So you need to allow StreamYard access to see your Facebook or to see your Facebook name and profile and stuff like that, so that we can see your name here in the chat section. We would love to hear and chat and communicate with you guys. We are here for you to answer any questions that you have. We have a few questions, awesome questions that we're going to talk about today. But Jason, maybe real quick, you wanted to kind of introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Jason with handymanwebdesign.com. I do marketing and website design for handyman, remodeling contractors, all that good stuff. So happy to be here and help answer questions. I know marketing is a big topic for every business owner in every industry. And there's just so much information out there. So I'm just happy to, be here and help out however I can.
Yeah, Jason, we're so excited to have you here. Every time we get together, something awesome happens. So
it, man.
That would be a great video. So when you're chiming in here, leave us a chat real quick. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and if you have a handyman business or not, or if you're looking to get one started. We would love to hear a little bit about you, where you're from, and stuff like that. So we got Paul Miller here from YouTube. What's up, Paul? He says, hey, fellas. Good to see you, Paul. We got Todd Smith from YouTube. He left some good questions on Facebook, so we're going to be talking about those a little bit later, Todd.
All right.
Hey, we got the Nev Man. Nev Man, what's up? He says, hey, guys. So let's go ahead and just jump into, while you guys are tuning in here, just go ahead and drop us a chat. We're just going to get started here. Let's start talking about, or maybe you want to get started, Jason, about your Ready, Shoot, Aim, and just kind of
So me and Al, we kind of came up with like a topic, that we just talk about at first while people are kind of, tuning in, all that good stuff. So something that me and Alan, we kind of talk about together is this concept of ready, shoot, aim. And it's something that I learned from my business coach when I first started my business 4 years ago. And overall, it's about not over preparing and just going for it. So get ready, shoot, and then you kind of get dialed in. And so it's a good concept for any small business owner, most definitely. I think that most businesses fail before they're even started because of just overthinking, over preparing. And so that ready, shoot, aim can be applied not only in business, but in marketing as well. So I just think it's kind of a cool concept that it's good to have it in the back of your mind, because you can know when you're trying to like aim way too much. You can kind of catch yourself and be like, I just need to shoot, man, and then just aim a little bit later. So anyway, so ready, shoot, aim.
Dude, I absolutely love it. Yeah, they call that the paralysis of the analysis, right? Sometimes we can get so caught up in the fine details and wanting to make sure everything is perfect before we start that we end up never actually starting. And I even see this kind of a problem with guys who have started their business, but they're like really struggling, maybe finding leads or getting good work, getting good jobs, or even setting their pricing right or creating a good business plan, is that they're trying to make sure that everything's perfect, that at the end of the day, they can't even figure out like what the next step is. Sometimes we need to forget about like step 20 and just focus on step 1, and then do step 2 and then step 3. Like, I'm not saying to forget about the big picture, because the big picture is huge and that's so amazing to have. But I think sometimes we need to clear our mind of like all the jargon and just focus on what the next step is, And I think the first step is establishing what that step needs to be,
I'm a big fan of like checklists. You write it down, because then if you get stuck, you just pick one and go for it. And it applies. I think it's a big thing for marketing too, because people try to dial in, the perfect marketing, and no one has perfect marketing. I mean, the closest thing to perfect marketing is like these massive companies probably that spend millions of dollars, but they make millions of dollars in mistakes at the same time. But in marketing too, you're never going to have like the perfect logo, the perfect website, the perfect plan for your social media posts, all this stuff. And so if you're sitting there and you're not busy, which I've certainly been. I've been there. When I started my business, it's hard. You're sitting there and my wife was working. I'm sitting here in my home office, like, man, what? How am I supposed to drum up some business? And it was just the ready, shoot, aim thing that gets you out. Like, join the Chamber of Commerce, show up to the mixer meetings. Might be a little hard now, but make phone calls to your local businesses that you can serve. Create a document, a proposal. I created custom, like I would record YouTube videos, make them private, and it would basically be me pitching to a specific business. Like, if I were to pitch Honestly Handyman, I just found him on the internet and be like, I want to help this guy. I made a video of myself, put it on YouTube, posted private, and then just emailed him and followed up and followed up and followed up. That's something that I did that certainly falls under the ready, shoot, aim, because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't like really polished and pretty on all aspects, but it was a great experience. It got my name out there, and I don't know, it's better than just sitting there worrying about it or trying to plan out all this stuff that was out of my control at that time. So
yeah, that's huge. Yeah, so let's welcome a few guys here. So Nevman, where is it? Oh, is Pat Nev. What's up, Pat? Good to see you. Paul Miller is from Hudson Valley, New York. Awesome, man. Awesome. And he does not have a business yet. Okay, Paul. Are you looking to get one started, Paul? Where are you at in that? What do you currently do for a living, and kind of when's your trajectory of getting one started? We'd love to hear it. We got Jesus from Florida. What's up, man? Pat's from Melbourne, Florida. Afternoon. And then we got Todd Smith from Cleveland, Ohio. I love it. Cleveland rocks. I love it.
Dude, you're like the MC of all MCs, Alan. You know that. Like, if everything ever just tanked and everything, you could just be an MC.
Hey, there you go. That's my backup gig right there. I love it. So Todd Smith's from Cleveland, Ohio, started my business 4 weeks ago, doing it only part-time right now. I am about to print business cards and magnets. I haven't advertised at all word of mouth. That's awesome, Todd. Very cool. Facebook user says, Jason with Handyman Web Design is the best. I hope no one from my city uses him because they'll be able to compete with me.
I don't know who it is, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, we can't see your name. It's Facebook. But if you allow StreamYard to see your name, we'll be able to see it. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you do offer an amazing deal that really gets us handyman out there ready to hit the ground running. So thanks for that, Jason. So let's go ahead and hop into our first question here.
PJP. That's who that was. Paul Pacheco, my man. Man, get off Facebook. He's supposed to be in Florida right now, man.
He's going on vacation?
On the beach.
Man. Well, he's just always working, you know what I mean? That's awesome. So let's hop into our first question here. So this question came in from Brian Davis on Facebook. How do I know when it's time to move on to another ad platform? So I guess first let's talk about what an ad platform is for guys who don't know it. So Jason, maybe you want to explain that real quick?
Yeah, pretty much it's just any platform that you can showcase your business, have a profile on, a place where people can find you. That's an ad platform. Ultimately, someone will be able to find you, like Yelp, Angie's List, Home Advisor, Thumbtack. A website is technically an ad platform. Google advertising. One could even say, any print. I mean, it's all kind of an ad platform, but the question here was certainly like a digital ad platform. Like I believe Brian said, Angie's List.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how would you know, Jason, like what kind of demographics would you use to figure out if it's time to move on to another ad platform, or what does that look like?
Yeah. Ultimately, with all marketing, it's about knowing your return on investment. You don't just blindly throw money at stocks and not look at what happens to them. The same as marketing. Marketing is an investment. So I guess in Brian's case, I'm going to pull up his actual question here. it's not working. So it could be working. It sounds like it's kind of like in this middle ground. So ultimately, Brian, it's about knowing or having some kind of gauge on your return. So what I would suggest doing is keeping a spreadsheet of leads and where they came from. So if you're just spending, let's just use simple numbers here, $100 a month on Angie's List, and you get 2 jobs, it's $50 a job. You should also look at like your cost per lead. Ultimately, the cost per job is probably the most important. It can be the hardest to nail down because leads easier when something comes in. It's from Angie's List. Boom. If you got 10 leads, spend $100, you got $10 a lead. I'd say that's a pretty solid like cost per lead as long as your pricing is dialed in. So my recommendation would be to just kind of understand your cost per lead and what's coming from the platform. I was talking to Alan a little bit ago, and every business owner, you kind of have an idea, like a general idea. It doesn't have to be exact science. If you don't want to do the spreadsheet thing, if it's kind of you're not feeling that right now, that's fine. But really take like an honest inventory of like, where are these jobs coming from? Do I feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of Angie's List? Again, that's not an exact science way of looking at it, but every business owner kind of has a good idea of, you spend some money here, you get a good idea of like how leads coming in, where they come from, is your money being spent well? So if you're kind of hunch right now is like, not really feeling Angie's List, maybe there's better, then I would say there definitely is better. You want to be confident in your marketing dollars and their return. So I believe in his post too, there was some hesitancy about losing any like value that you have with Angie's List. You've been working hard on that profile. I believe Angie's List, last I knew, they had a free profile. So if you stop paying for the ads, for the leads, then you should be able to still have your profile with your reviews and all that stuff. If not, then that's terrible, and I'm sorry. And it's tough to get involved like with places like that, because if you stop paying and they stop playing, it's not really a good like long-term thing, because you don't want to stop paying Angie's List. Then your all the work that you've done for those reviews, for that profile's SEO, like it's all kind of out the window. So I guess getting back to your question, man, I would say just have a decent understanding of your cost per lead, and then move that ad budget into somewhere else and see how that works. So it's all about testing and knowing what works for you. It is different in every market.
Yeah, definitely. That's huge. And something that I wanted to highlight about Brian is an all-star. I mean, Brian started up his business when we first went through our first class, so probably about 5 months ago. He went through our marketing funnel strategy class, which is something that we offer here at the Handyman Journey, and is now a part of our Business Builders membership program. And he's an amazing step follower, right? Like you tell him to do this, he'll do that, right? So Brian has been amazing at applying stuff. So Brian, just want to let you know, like, you're doing a great job. You are on an amazing track, and you have some great potential. And there's nothing wrong with, switching stuff around and testing the waters a little bit. You've done a great job really, being steadfast with what your #1 ad platform was, and that's Angie's List. But there's nothing wrong with, testing some waters, seeing what else works. And especially if you can stop paying for Angie's List, but maintain that free ad platform, that would be great. Maybe, reach out to Jason. Maybe you and him can work out some stuff for, Google, or, talk about other ways that you can invest your money, whether that's with a website or things like that. And then on the other end of it, right, is another thing to weigh is like, maybe our marketing's working, but maybe our pricing just sucks. Like maybe we're literally just undercharging for everything we do. So therefore our marketing from dollar wise, it's not making sense. And for what I would tell you, Brian, is like, you're a part of our Business Builders membership. You have access to all these classes. Go back to the Handyman Journey 101, dig deep into the pricing class, and, really learn about setting your pricing, making sure that it's spot on. And then retake that marketing funnel class, because I'm sure there's things that you can implement right now for possibly even for free, that would help you, excel in your business. But like always, we have our bi-monthly group coaching calls in that Business Builders membership, and we'll talk more in depthly about that. We have another call coming up tonight, as you know, Brian, but look forward to that and having you in there. But Brian, that's a amazing question. So Jason, do you have anything else to add for that specific question?
No, I mean, I actually just looked up Brian's, business here. I don't see like a free Yelp profile popping up. So I would just go ahead and create that for the link to your website. If anything else, got 2 Google reviews. So maybe put some more emphasis in getting some reviews on Google. That's huge. I mean, I tell people to shoot for double-digit reviews on Google My Business. Really easy way to create like a review link that's really simple for your customers to leave you a review. Because at the end of the day, getting an online review, someone's doing you a favor, right? They're taking time out of their day to review your business. So, and it's helpful to you as long as you did a great job and you're getting a 5-star review. So you want to make it easy. You want to remove all barriers, remove all friction that you can. So go into your Google My Business dashboard, business.google.com. Go to the info section, and there is a short name section there that you should have filled out. If you don't, create that. And then you can create a review link using that short name. It'd be easier if I typed it, but I'll just say it really slow. Here's the URL for your review link. Everyone has Google My Business. This is the link, right? g.page/your short name /review. So that will, if someone clicks on that, instantly takes them to Google, pops up a review box and the star rating and all that stuff, and makes it just easy for someone to leave you a Google review. So that's something that Brian, I would recommend trying to get some reviews on that Google My Business profile. It's probably the most important digital marketing asset that any local service has. So that would be my recommendation there.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Reviews are so huge. I mean, and reviews on all platforms. Like, I think Google is huge. That's the number one. But I think if you could get reviews across the board on everything, that's excellent. So thanks for sharing that URL, Jason. That's great. So let's real quick go back to our comments here. Let's see here. We got George from Los Angeles. Welcome. David Bates from Niagara Falls, New York. We got Mike Benner in the house. He's also another Business Builder member. I'm looking forward to spending tonight's group coaching call with you, Mike. That's going to be awesome. We got Maui Steve in the house. Maui Steve.
I love Steve, man. If you're still on.
And then Facebook user says, not hard getting work. Harder managing it right now with being a solo guy with no helpers. Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's rough being a solo guy. Like, I even have one technician, and that technician just went on vacation last week. So I dropped down to a solo guy, and it was like spinning my head, man. It's like, good thing we had systems in place and structures in place and people to actually fulfill those roles, the other roles that we have in our business, that everything went smoothly. But it just shows me the need to not be a solo guy, to make sure that you have technicians, you have multiple technicians, you have multiple estimators, you have multiple customer relations personnel. Like, I think the need that I saw is that this business needs to be big, because if it stays small, it's going to be squished. It's so easily squished. Like, what if you got sick for a week, for 2 weeks? What would happen to your business? What if you wanted to go on vacation? Would your business shut down? Like, these are all questions to ask, right? And these are things that we teach constantly. Like, we have a whole, business systems dominations class where we teach people how to, hire employees and create systems so that whole system runs smoothly. Let's see. Maui Steve says the Market app keeps track of your advertisement in all your bills and your jobs and how much you make per hour. Yeah, so the Market app's a great resource of, keeping track of certain things and dollars and ROs and things like that. Okay, let's hop on to another question here. Okay, so this is an interesting question. It's more of a specific marketing question of, like, how do you advertise for smaller jobs instead of larger jobs? This individual in particular, he mainly gets larger jobs or gets, requests for larger jobs, but he kind of wants the smaller stuff. What would you recommend as far as that, Jason?
Yeah. So I hear that probably like a quarter of the time, 3/4 of the others. They're like, man, I want to do bigger jobs. And then probably I know there's one guy I've worked with that he started small, he wanted to do bigger, he got to bigger, and then he's like, no, I want to go back to small. It was way easier, more predictable. So it is kind of niching down into like your that smaller job specialist. It is tricky. Because like anyone gets in with like a handyman or home repair company, you develop that relationship, and then naturally you kind of gear toward, like the homeowner kind of gears up to like, oh, hey, you've done all these little repairs. Well, now I want to remodel my bathroom. I want you to help me out. So there's like this natural progression with the homeowner too of you know, small repairs, but then they want that same go-to person for the bigger jobs. So the only thing that one thing I would say about focusing on smaller jobs is put like on all your marketing, have like small job specialist or, you know, specializing in small home repairs and home maintenance, to really just kind of like gear that consumer mind of like, you are the small job specialist. And I think that actual small job specialist, it comes from someone I've worked with. I want to say his name's Pete. Fix It Pete, small job specialist, but not entirely sure. I just really thought it had a little lingo to it. So it's more like branding, I guess, would be a good combatant to kind of push towards that niche of like small jobs rather than the larger stuff. If you're doing bigger stuff now and your marketing is all like what's the guy's name? Let's see, Jesus. So if it's like Jesus is remodeling, like, man, you're gonna have a tough time getting the small jobs if your business name and your marketing kind of alludes that you're construction, you're remodeling. So there's lots of factors that would come into play to really give a real specific answer. So I would say really focus on your brand, your overall like branding, and what are you communicating in your marketing that's pushing people that you are like a small job specialist.
Yeah, that's huge, and I think you hit that spot on. I mean, that's something that like goes back to something we teach in the marketing funnel strategy class, which is, and you know, you came up with this idea, Jason, the marketing filter, right? And the marketing filter is everything that your marketing is filtered through, right? So as one of our marketing filters is like a get in and get it done, like that whole mentality, right? It's like, so what it looks like then for our marketing to be portrayed through that get in, get it done is that we're posting daily on Facebook, which you should be doing, you know, daily on Facebook and Instagram. And those pictures that we post daily are jobs that we've done, and they're all get in, get it done jobs. We don't post pictures of bathroom remodels. We don't post pictures of, you know, we post pictures of replacing a wax ring on a toilet. We post pictures of replacing a kitchen faucet. We post pictures of fixing a little drywall hole, not re-drywalling a whole wall. You know what I mean? So that's at least the way that I see it, is like you need to portray, like you said, Jason, portray yourself and brand yourself as that get in, get it done, small task professional, rather than, you know, a big job, you know, if that makes sense. I mean, leave us a comment that's making sense, guys.
And one more point to that too is, I mean, most of our customers are handyman services. And so like for their website, for their SEO, even for like ads that we run, we're hitting on like handyman service. When people are searching that, they have a small job in most cases. If someone wants like their bathroom remodeled, most people, they're not looking for, you know, they're not searching Google for a handyman. They're looking for remodeling. So that's just another like kind of like angle to hit on small jobs. If you do have any digital marketing going, make sure that you're hitting on handyman services. That's like the largest keyword volume for from drywall repair to fence repair to, you know, replacing light fixtures, all that stuff. So again, it really depends on your specific setup you have going right now, but another factor.
Definitely. That's great. So we got one more question that we're going to chime in here from Facebook. If you guys have any more questions at all, feel free to drop them in the chat section. We are more than happy to answer them for y'all. But here's the last question we got. And this is from Todd Smith. He also had a question about magnets. But I have $100 a month to spend on marketing. Where should I spend it? Now, this is kind of like there's a lot wrapped up here, right? Because there's a lot of different things that could go wrong. But Jason, maybe you want to take this one and
Yeah, an important note too, that he mentioned is that he's a brand new business. He's just starting out. So first off, it's good to have a budget because it makes it easier to know that you can spend it, not be scared to spend it. You know where you're at in your monies. So with $100 a month, brand new, the first thing before I even say what I would do with $100 a month, based on my experience with everyone I've worked with, you got to get your foundation built. So get your Google My Business profile up. With that kind of budget, I recommend just setting up a free website right through your Google My Business. If you click the website tab, you pretty much just type in a few things, it automatically creates you a really generic website. Nonetheless, a website, hook up a domain for it for $12 a year, and get your free profiles, free Yelp profile, get your Facebook business, Angie's List, I'm pretty sure has a free profile. Nextdoor, if there's Nextdoor in your area, get on Nextdoor. At that point, you've got a foundation, business email, all this stuff where if you're spending ad dollars, you want your marketing foundation to be dialed in because it's going to be maximizing all your dollars that you're spending, all your efforts. If you don't have your foundation in place and you're, boosting random posts on Facebook every now and then, you're just going to miss out on a lot of value and potential leads that would come in. Otherwise, if you had proper marketing set up, just the basic foundation that people would research before hiring somebody. So get that foundation set up, and $100 a month, it's too low to spend on like lead gen platforms. So I would definitely stay away from any kind of lead generation platform. I wouldn't go on Google Ads Express through your Google My Business. I wouldn't spend $100 a month there. Just the cost per click and all that stuff. It's a little too pricey you really need to have a bigger scaled ad budget to see more data and more return from that. So $100 a month, get your foundation dialed in, get your business cards, get some flyers. I would print off like sales sheets, brochures. I know Alan's talked about his brochure. Hit up property managers, realtors, HOAs, kind of just get your name out there at that $100 a month budget. As far as digital, anything, I think the best place to spend $100 a month digitally with $100 a month, I would say to use that on Facebook. Boosted posts are the simplest way. There's more advanced Facebook marketing. We won't get into that, but you could boost Facebook posts. It's just a really cheap way to get your name out there. As long as you pay attention to the targeting, so make sure you're targeting your actual geographic area. I think we've all seen like the random Facebook ad from like a lawn care company in like wherever, like hundreds of miles away. So make sure your geographic targeting is there. Set your age to, your home average, minimum homeowner age. You don't want your handyman service ad to be showing to a 17-year-old kid, that they don't have a need for your services. So pay attention to the kind of the more targeting in there. With age, you could even target families, kids, education level, kind of go as crazy as you want, but at a minimum, geography and the age bracket is a good thing to focus on. There's also income. You can target like top 50% income neighborhoods. So as far as spending $100 a month digitally, I would stick to Facebook. But first, I would spend that money on getting your foundation built, getting some business cards, print advertising, stuff like that, getting that network built.
That's beautiful, Jason. I love how you kind of fully encompass that, like you gave people kind of a whole checklist of what to do, and I think
it all just kind of came out. I'm glad it worked.
That's excellent, man. I'm glad we're recording this because that's like gold right there. Yeah, so I would say like maybe your first month or maybe your first few months, like spend some money on that print marketing, like Jason said, like get some good business cards, get some flyers, get some fridge magnets for your clients if you want, like whatever works best in your neighborhood. And you could try that and then go digital. I think digital is the way. Like you need to remember though that marketing is a long-term game. Like typically in marketing, like what you do now doesn't fully pay off for another 90 days, like minimum. So a lot of people will pay for, they'll do 1 month of something, whether that's Yelp, Home Advisor, Angie's List, Google ads, Facebook ads, and then they'll be like, this isn't working. I'm out of here. I'm quitting this handyman stuff. I'm going back to my old job. Like, no, this is a long-term game, right? And where you're going to be at 2 years from now is way different than where you're at right now, So Just think of that in a marketing perspective, Hey, Jason, do you have that Facebook post up where Todd asked that question about magnets? And he talked specifically.
Let's see. I do. I'm starting out and going to make 3 by 4 inch magnets for around 60 cents each. Yay or nay? I'm not up on my fridge magnet pricing. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's a good deal.
I wish I knew what I paid for our fridge magnets. I don't even remember. Yeah. I would say ready, shoot, aim.
I've heard that somewhere. A good kind of like foundational point on like the magnets, the print marketing is, I'm sure, and people in the handyman journey and all this stuff, there's plenty of guys out there that they are super busy and they have zero digital marketing, right? Mm-hmm. They don't have a website. They don't have jack. They work on referrals, word of mouth. And that's awesome because it shows the power of a strong referral network. A strong referral network can keep a man busy, keep a woman busy. And so it's a good thing to focus on first because you cannot beat the power of a personal network and a personal referral. But not all people are geared towards that personal networking and all that stuff. And even if someone is full-time doing that, if you want to grow a business, if you want to grow a company, if you want to take a vacation and still make money while you're on vacation, you need to be like thinking bigger and looking at the digital avenues and stuff. However, when you're starting out $100 a month, work on all the things that are going to facilitate that personal network, that personal referral network, because can't beat the power of a neighbor's referral,
Right.
You're going to call them 100% of the time.
For sure. I mean, I talk about this almost every time that we talk about marketing is I feel like it's exactly like what's going on right now, political campaigns, right? You're driving down the road and you see all these signs of people you've never heard of, this person running for this person running for this. But when you get to the poll, you may not know anyone that's running in that category, but you're like, oh, that name looks familiar for some reason. Well, that's because you passed it every single day for the last month going to work. You passed that sign saying, we'll just say, because he's right here, Mike Benner for Congress, right? You're like, okay, I don't know who Mike Benner is, but he's the only guy I recognize on the sheet, right?
Got his fridge magnet.
Right. Yeah, I got Mike's fridge magnet on my fridge, so
yeah.
So what I'm saying is like that's what this personal branding marketing is that the more often people see you, the more likely they are to call you. Like one thing that's really ingrained in my mind is one guy, he called us because he saw our yard sign, right? He saw our yard sign, he called us. And when I came to do the estimate, he said, hey, man, I just want to let you know. He was all excited. He's like, hey, man, I saw your yard sign, but I didn't call you just because of your yard sign. I called you because a few weeks ago I had seen your ad on Facebook, and then I saw your yard sign. And he's like, this must be like an act of God because this guy's like everywhere. You know what I mean? That's what we want. We want people to be like, this guy's everywhere. I'm going to call him because he's everywhere. He must be good, right? And that really gives you a portrayal of, even if you're not busy, people are going to think you're pretty dang busy. If you're posting daily on Facebook, if you've got yard signs everywhere, if you got Facebook that gives the essence of someone who is a big business. And that's what I teach people is that we need to think about ourselves as big businesses, not small businesses, right? So how would a big business do marketing? How would a big business do branding? So Mike Benner, how much were your fridge magnets that you got on Vistaprint? I'm interested because that might give us a clue on what other magnets would go for. I wanted to highlight a question here. Mike Benner asked, he said, got my first bad review yesterday. How do I handle that? It was not for work, but it was because 2 weeks ago I hadn't given a lady an estimate. He basically forgot or whatnot. She was mad that I had forgotten, decided to leave a review instead of messaging me. What should I do? Now, this isn't about marketing, but I think it's a great question, and I think it leads into marketing. We teach at the Handyman Journey, we teach people that you can either choose a victim mentality or a champion mentality. Now, us as humans, we default to the victim mentality all the time, right? We love to live in the victim mentality and just blame other people. But as a leader, as a champion, as a business owner, I believe that we default to the victim mentality, but I believe we are created by God to live in the champion mentality. So that's where our calling is, right? And especially as leaders and business owners. So Mike, you have two options, right? You can either blame other people for that bad review, or you could take the blame yourself. What I always recommend doing is see where your fault is first. Pull that log out of your eye before you worry about the speck in someone else's eye. Someone may be wrong, and that's fine if they're wrong, but you also have a role in that, right? So I would call her personally and say, hey, Betty, I realized that you left me a review. That totally reminded me because I totally forgot, 100% forgot that to give you that estimate. And I just want to tell you how sorry I am. I'm extremely sorry. I forgot. Like, don't even give her an excuse. Just say, I forgot. Like, I'm sorry, and I hope that you could find it in your heart to forgive me. I would love to earn your business if that's at all possible. If there's any way that we could work together, I would love to do that. But if not, I completely understand that. But you have to be prepared because remember, as humans, we default to the victim mentality. So more than likely that client is going to choose the victim mentality, and you need to be prepared for that too, because you're taking the blame. You need to be prepared for her to shove that blame back on you. And at the end of the day, sometimes all you can do is kind of, speak your piece and walk away. But I think if you leave, so I would call her personally, and I would also leave a public review on that, or a public comment on that review, a message back to her stating exactly that. I'm sorry for this. I hope we can win this isn't how, like, talking about maybe some of your core values and this is what we strive to be. And obviously we did not hit that benchmark this time. And I'm extremely sorry because I can't tell you how many clients have called me specifically because they saw a bad review on my Yelp profile. And they called me because they liked the way that I responded back. They liked the way that I interacted. Do you have anything to add to that, Jason?
A little bit. I mean, I think Alan definitely nailed it. Just be honest, apologize. It's your fault. I would certainly reply to the review, say that, and then also say that you'd love the opportunity to earn her business and to call you personally. Put your phone number in there, put, Mike Benner, owner. That will go a long way. People read reviews. So, there's probably like 1,000 times more people that's going to read your review than actually post a review. So replying to those bad reviews in a way that it's used as a marketing opportunity to show that,
right.
There's not many opportunities to show the real heart of a business, right? There's ways, but that's a great way to really show the heart of the business is to kind of own up to it and put your best foot forward in earning her business back. One more note to add is reply to all your good reviews. Reply to every review that you have. People read through that stuff. And whenever you're replying to them, it shows that you're an active business owner. You care to take the time to reply to your customers. You have a personal relationship with them, whatever it is, just honestly reply to every review, thanking them for their time to leave that review. It's just a good ongoing practice for any business owner. Also, there is a very slight correlation of your Google My Business visibility. So your Google My Business ranking in the maps, so SEO relates to SEO. There is a slight correlation of responding to reviews and your profile kind of being in that local packs, that top 3 that shows in the map. So if it helps your SEO, it helps people get to know you better. It's kind of a win-win. So reply to the bad review, reply to the good reviews.
Yeah. For that, we can also use kind of our political campaign idea that we talked about earlier. If you want to know what not to do, sometimes look at people that are in the spotlight, right? Look at even from many years ago, presidential campaigns, right? Or presidential debates, right? What happens when one person says, oh, this person did that, how could you vote for them, right? What happens? That other person turns it right back on them and says, yeah, but you did this, right? Instead, just, be like, yeah, you're right. I did that. Use that opportunity to share your positive core values and be like, you're right. I did do that 10 years ago, but my core values are this. And obviously I fell way short. And I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. If you can't, that's fine. Because not everyone's going to forgive everyone, right? But use it as a opportunity to share the good things about your business, so that when people read that, they're like, oh, like, this guy is human. He does make mistakes, but he's striving for this. I think at the end of the day, honesty wins all, So, Jason, you got anything else to add? I think we're running a little long here, so we got to cut this thing short. But we appreciate all you guys tuning in. Jason, you got anything to chime in last minute here?
David Bates asked about getting his name out there. Google my business, get reviews on there is the best place to start. But beyond that, get out there and, ready, shoot, aim. Yeah. There's so much opportunity, especially now in home improvement industry. There's so much business happening. So it's out there, and it's just a matter of kind of getting out there, testing out different marketing, and see what works for you in your area and your business. And like Alan said, kind of the more like heart points of it, just be honest and show up, treat your customers right, and you'll earn a lifetime customer and a new member of your personal referral network.
Yep. I love it. So if you guys need anything at all, Jason Call is the marketing expert specifically for handyman and construction industry. So if you need anything at all, reach out to him. You can find him at handymanwebdesign.com. You can go in there, drop a message. He will respond to you, and you'll be able to talk one-on-one with him. If you need any handyman business coaching, I would absolutely love to help you out. I'm actually guiding a group of business builders in our membership tonight. We're going through we have bi-monthly group coaching calls where we meet twice a month. And one of the calls is tonight. We're going to be talking about some really cool stuff. And we basically set goals for our businesses every single time we meet. So every time we meet, our businesses are never the same. And it's absolutely phenomenal. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Would love to hear comments. If you guys have any more, reach out to us. Me, handymanjourney.com. Jason over at handymanwebdesign.com. Maui Steve recommends Jason Call. It's the best I've ever had in 15 years. So that's excellent. Hey, thanks, Mike. We appreciate you tuning in. I'm excited to see the group coaching call. So.
Yeah, we're doing this again in a couple weeks. So if you guys have any questions, I mean, just send them to Alan and he'll get them to me. And I mean, we can just dig into them. I mean, we've been on here for like an hour. So we'd love to dig into anything specific to your business to help you out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, we're going to be doing these calls or these live videos twice a month. So if you guys have anything at all, feel free to ask. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys take care, and remember to get out there and ready, shoot, aim. Don't worry about all the fighting. Get her done. Okay? All right. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
See you guys.